Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, Dr. Haider Shah, and on behalf of Calvas, I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar. Thank you very much for joining us. Today, we have another very interesting topic, and I'm really honored to welcome and introduce our distinguished guest speaker who is going to talk about leadership, how to influence and inspire. Leadership is the art of influencing and inspiring others towards a goal or vision. A true leader has the ability to inspire and motivate their followers, helping them to reach their full potential and achieve success. So, whether in business, politics, or any other field, effective leadership is crucial for achieving success and making a positive impact on the world. So, in this webinar, we will learn the key traits and strategies that define effective leadership and how individuals can develop their own leadership skills to become more influential and inspiring leaders. So really very interesting topic. I'm sure you will learn a lot from this session because we have an expert with us in today's this session. So stay tuned because an amazing stuff are coming ahead in this session. So before we start, I would like to thank Kalwa for arranging such enlightenment sessions, for their support and providing us such a wonderful platform. The aim of Kalwas is to give you the opportunity to connect and interact with world-renowned speakers, academic leaders, teachers, authors, researchers, experts, professionals, and businessmen to learn from their experiences, recommendations, and suggestions, which will create an impact and will enable you to learn and develop yourself in order to grow and transform individually as well as to contribute to the world in a positive way. As our slogan is come, learn, and share knowledge. So today we have an amazing person as guest. She's a well-known personality having a vast experience and wonderful exposure. She's a great human being and we always see her while contributing to the world in a different ways by sharing her knowledge. So let me introduce her formally. She is a highly effective speaker and communication specialist who coaches others in personal and professional communications and presentation skills. A 40 years of financial advisor locally known as Valks financial workshops around dealing with debt and freedom from debt are experiential and fun while transforming your thinking around your relationship with the money, coming to understand money as a flow of energy. Moreover, she has enjoyed a rich and abundant life included in world travel, singing, the entertaining, speaking, teaching, volunteering in prisons, missions in the Honduras. Last but not the least, she is a wonderful speaker, author, researcher, trainer, professional, and above everything, a great human being. So please help me in welcoming our guest, Prof. Sandra Valks. Welcome to the Calvas platform, and thank you very much for joining us, Prof.
Wow, thank you so much. I know I didn't send all of that to you. You did your research. And that's the beauty of an introduction because that came from you wondering who I was and digging out. It's amazing what we spread around in the world.
Sure.
And it's amazing when we can just be ourselves. I love my life of personal freedom.
Wonderful. It's really pleasure to have you, Prof. And really, your profile is so amazing. The way you are contributing to the world is so great. And today we are going to enjoy and we are going to learn a lot from your wisdom, from your knowledge, from your wonderful experiences. So the topic is very vast. I do understand, and you have a lot of stuff, but we will try to drag out the most important things regarding the leadership. So let me start with the first question, which is very important to define the leadership. So, Prof, how do you define the leadership in a simple words for our audience to understand what is leadership? Yes, please.
All right. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you familiar with ducks? Are you familiar with ducks in Pakistan?
Yes,
Quack,
Prof.
quack, 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 the ducks. When the mother duck decides she has to go somewhere and the little babies are there, they're all over the place, just like our babies, like come, 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 come. She says quack, 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 and off she walks. She doesn't go chasing them. Off she walks, and the little ones look around and say, oh, I better follow. Now, if you have somebody who's taking off somewhere and others who are coming in behind, they are following the leader. Are you that leader? Do you go to, you were talking about your first semester and your last semester, people wondering, when do I start to be a leader? Well, you don't have to wait till you're a mother and run away and let the children, they just won't leave you alone. Like if you look at children, you'll learn so much. But think about yourself when you were in school, in little kindergarten school, small school. Did the other kids come to you and want to do what you were doing? And if they did, that's because you were displaying being a leader. You had the enthusiasm, the vision, the mission. You had something you wanted to do. I want to go play ball. Well, you can't play ball all by yourself. So you've got the ball and you're tossing that in the air, and who wants to come play ball? And they fall in behind and follow. And they're happy to play ball. So you're really a leader when people follow you. How do they follow you? You persuade them. You tease them. You cajole them. Now, if you're going to be a bully and threaten them, that will still be a leader, but it won't be a very happy leader, and it'll be under power and force. So you want to be a leader who attracts. I want to be with you. I want to be there. I want to play ball with you. I'm going to learn from you. Yes, you'll learn about ball from me, but Sandra, you sing. So if I want to get on stage and sing, Sandra, I need you to be the leader to teach me to sing and how to make it better. So we are all leaders and we are all followers. Now, a good leader will recognize when some other leader has the skills and capabilities that you need to improve or to work with. And a good leader will not be so proud as to say, oh, they've got that. Yeah, they've got that. They know how to play ball. If I'm going to be on a ball team, I want them, and they can put me out in the far field. You know, if I miss a ball, somebody else will catch it. But if you're going to sing on stage with me, then maybe you need to learn from me. How do you say that word? How do you communicate with the audience? So a leader is not something somebody has. It's something you are being in your own life. In your own life. And if you're living your own life truly and powerfully, others are attracted to you. They'll come and ask you, could we sit and have a coffee? Could we have a visit? Could you tell me a little bit? Well, Dr. Haider, you saw me and you said, Sandra, could you come and talk about leadership? Yeah, that's what I do. But I don't try to replace you in your classroom because the stuff you're teaching, I don't know. So let's all be humble enough and proud enough to go both ways. Support the leaders, learn from the leaders, and then sometimes step into our own responsibility and leader. But the most powerful leader you will be in your own life. So whether they go and get that library book and do the research well in advance because we don't know why that was. Maybe their parents forced them. Or maybe that's just their personality. Well, I've got this. I've got to get all organized. Me, I'm too curious. I'm everywhere. I'll get it done. And then when I do it, I'll get curious in that book and pick up some more. Does that answer a bit about leadership?
Yeah, wow, Prof, wonderful. And I love the way you just give an example of the ducks and how the powerful personality of the leader should be having attraction towards themselves. If you have a powerful personality and you inspire people and they want to come and love to talk to you, to learn from you, that's the real leadership. And you have very nicely talked about the leadership which is not by the people driven. It is based on authoritarian, when you ask the people to do it and compel them, force them, push them towards doing certain things. And we as a human, we don't like the people who push. We like the people to whom we are attracted, and we will more listen and we will be more productive if the leaders are humble and they have a attractive personality by becoming the powerful personality, which they develop themselves from their knowledge and their humbleness. So very nicely you have defined the leadership, and I'm enjoying the way you are giving answer is so nice. Now the second question is, Prof. Very often we get this kind of question that what kind of traits, the key traits the leadership has, and how can someone learn these kind of traits? So what kind of trait you recommend for a leaders to have? Yes, please.
So you're asking basically, I do believe, how do you develop your own leadership skills?
Yes, Prof.
Is that right?
Yes, Prof. Very nice.
All right. First off, you start to recognize and stop being, we get so many voices in our head that say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Get rid of all those. Just get curious and aware. Are people coming around you? Oh, ask them. Why do you want to go play with me? Why do you want to go learn with me? Why? Ask them. Ask them. Literally ask them. Dr. Haider, why would you want to talk to me? You see. And then the communication starts, because that's what I said. Why do you want to talk? Well, I see that you've got leadership and we're into it, you see. So ask. That's the first thing. And be aware. And for decades, I count everything in decades now at this age, but for decades, I would think I was always following and I was being left out. So then I would follow along, and for a long time I did, well, yeah, that's what they want to do, okay. But it doesn't feel good. So we have to look in, why doesn't it feel good? Because I'm not getting to be me. And that's the scary thing. So when you look at yourself to see where are your leadership traits, that's the painful part, where you look and say, what are people going to think? What are they going to expect? Can I do that? And so you start just a little bit at a time. It could be your students turning around, or your research people saying, I need help. Now there's the first thing, and a leader will do. I need help. Could you help me with this? Now, if you were to ask your students what their homework assignments, where they should go to the library, and you wonder why they don't go to the library, have you tried just saying, look, I've got this big project I'm putting together. Could you help me with this piece of it, which would be their assigned homework, but I need it tomorrow. They'll go to the library tonight. And pretty soon, everybody that you need something from will become this project, and the homework will be all done on time. And when it comes homework time, it'll be, okay, can you just put that into a little summary? They've already done the work. They can just do their little summary. So it's very interactive. And as they see it and experience in you, they'll say, son of a gun, that guy tricked us. He had the project, asked us for help, we did the help, and here's our homework done. Beautiful. Maybe I can do that. Wasn't it Tom Sawyer that was painting the fence, and he really didn't want to paint the fence? So he thought, what will I do? Well, somebody came along, one of the kids, because he wanted to be out playing with the other kids, playing ball. And a kid comes along, what are you doing? I'm painting the fence. Oh, that must be terrible. Oh, no, look how beautiful it looks. See how it goes. Oh, can I try that? Yeah, okay, here, you try it. Pretty soon he had all the other kids painting the fence. When it was his job. So by the time everybody got painting the fence, it was done. They could all go play baseball. But they had such fun in painting the fence, not realizing that was the job. So we can get past thinking that we're in a job, a job, and get thinking about just the curiosity and wonder of life. The curiosity, the joy and wonder of life. I just had, here's a funny story for you. In Canada here, where I am, we have maple syrup. We have maple trees, which are called sugar maples. And so every spring, as the snow is starting to melt, the sap starts running in the tree, in the sugar maple. Well, then you can go and tap in a little spigot and put a bucket under and catch the sap. It'll come right out of the trunk of the tree, out out into the little bucket. Well, you collect enough of that, you can make maple syrup, which is really the sap from the tree. The water from the tree is sweet. And when you reduce it enough, you have syrup to put over your pancakes or whatever. That's maple syrup. Well, a fellow just gave me 4 liters, a big jug of sap. And I thought, I just want to try it. I put it in my slow cooker for 36 hours and let it reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce. So the 4 liters became this little tiny bit reduced. So I don't even know if I have enough syrup for my pancakes for one meal out of 4 liters of sap from the tree. So think about ourselves as the tree, and we collect the sap, and we get our wisdom and our knowledge and our joy, and we just keep making it tighter and tighter and tighter as we grow until, gee, there's a Dr. Haider enjoying his life. There's a Sandra free to be living her own life because she has funneled and funneled and funneled all these wonderful skills and awarenesses and wonders and joys. Whew, I can talk about anything. And I like to talk, could you tell?
Really, Prof. Wonderful, wonderful answer you have given. And I love the way you are correlating it with the stories, and you are trying to convey the message by sharing your wonderful stories. And I think that's the wonderful part, that we learn from these stories as well. What are the lessons out of it, and how can we learn from them and to develop the leadership skills regarding that thing. And now, Prof, another very interesting question, and that is related to the negotiation skills to resolve the conflict. So they say that the leader, they must have the negotiation skills and conflict resolution skills. So, Prof, how do you see the connection between the leadership skills related to the negotiation skills? Do you think the good leader should be the good negotiator as well? Yes, please.
Everyone should be a good negotiator. Now, I've been going to prison for 15 years, teaching the inmates. But I haven't really been teaching them. I have, as I look at it, probably been negotiating conflict resolution. Many of the inmates got into prison using this and the mouth flapping, shouting, hollering, do this, power. But they weren't happy, and they got an invitation to prison. So what am I going to do with a bunch of inmates that have this and that? Well, I start off with, I see you guys are in prison and can't get out. And well, out there, you don't have to worry about those things. You can do whatever you want. And I said, well, no, you can't. No, you can't. There's rules and laws out there. So no, I can't go to just do whatever I want. Well, I guess that's true. Well, you didn't want to play by those rules. Well, no, because they made me mad. I didn't get my way. Well, what was under getting your way? And pretty soon we're talking about, when they said, well, in here to be safe, we have to wear a mask all the time. So we can't show who we are because it's dangerous. And prison is a dangerous place for sure. So we put a mask on. And I said, so who do you think I am? Well, you're just free to be you. I mean, it's just wonderful. And I said, have you got any idea how many masks I can put on, that I do put on? You're seeing this one. Have you seen me when I've been broken and crushed and in despair, sobbing from my toenails up, sobbing? Have you seen that? Well, no, you've just seen this face because right now I'm feeling good. Have you seen that mask I put on when I'm sobbing and scared and I have to go and do something anyway? Oh, so yes, you're in prison with walls. Yes, you put a mask on. I'm in prison. And I put up my own walls, just like you did before you got here, and what you're doing now when you're here. That mask that we choose is that prison we put on ourselves. I am now free to wear any mask I happen to be in. If you were to touch my heart right now with a sad story and it made me, I'd be wiping an eye. But there was a time when you just wouldn't. You'd be stoic. Nothing's going to touch me. That's a mask. That's a shield. It keeps people away. You can't attract people through armor. Now, when you're talking about conflict resolution, if you were to look, instead of punching back, somebody's punched you, say, "Ow, that hurts." Have you tried that before? Somebody slaps you. Natural thing we want to do is slap them back. If instead you said, "Whoa, that hurt." Now, if you've got those ones that are just gone bonkers and they're going to beat the bejesus out of you, you might want to roll away and try and run. But if it's not, if it's something that can be worked out, "Oh, that hurt. What do you do that for?" Pretty soon there's some conversation rolling. And when you want to brainstorm, here's a brilliant one I've been working and playing with lately, is it doesn't matter. You could tell me my sky is green. And I would say, now there's something in there. Yes. And what I like about that idea is that if we had a green sky and the blue grass, our world would be up on its end. And I like the fun that we could have with that. And you would say, yes, and because out of any statement, if you allow it to be at least 10% right, you can have some fun and get into it. Pretty soon you forget to be angry. Pretty soon you're thinking, this is silly. Yeah, let's do it some more, have fun. And you might say, well, you can't do that in university and you can't do that in the boardroom table. Well, yes, you can. Sometimes it's just necessary to break the ice and do something, take 2 minutes to calm down. There's just so many little tricks and trades, but you have to stop being full of yourself and be okay. Did any of that make sense?
Wonderful, Prof. Again, you have related it to the wonderful story, and I love the part of your talking about the mask. Most of the time, this mask and shield actually protects us from being openness to the and being humbleness. Sometimes what happens is the same thing, that why don't we just calm down and why don't we just try to understand the situation? And you have given a wonderful example of that. Uh, it's by nature that we react so quickly, but if we calm down and we try to understand, then we will make fun out of it and we will enjoy the process. It's not
Yes.
about to get angry, but most important is to understand the situation, and particularly why the people are behaving in a certain way. What is their perspective and approach? You try to understand from their perspective, and then you laugh at yourself that why you were taking in other way around, and you could have taken it in a very other the good way. And what happens is, as a result, you involve in the discussion, and then you become a very good uh, then you have a very good understanding of the situation, and then comes out to be a very good in terms of the outcomes. So what happens is they trying to understand the situation, that is more important. And I love the way you just talk about the fun. Yes, you can have only fun once you are calmed down and you try to understand things in a more nice way. So really wonderful, Prof. You are giving a wonderful answer. And now there is one another interesting question, but let me just repeat the phrase from your website, which I loved a lot. The phrase was that the power of your words can take your business and career to the next level. Wonderful statement you have given on your website. And you have mentioned further that learn how to become a confident and impactful leader. This is what we do. As the Jim Rohn has written in his book, that words can change the life, words can change your career, words can change your perspective, and words can change and create wonders in your life. So obviously, the same thing you have even mentioned as well in your website, that yes, it can create a better life for you and it can take you to the next level. So please enlighten us regarding the role of communication in the effective leadership as well. How do you see the role of leadership with the effective communication, and what is the power of words? Please explain to us. Thank you.
I have lived it. Another part of what you see on there is lived experience. That's mostly where I've gotten well, I shouldn't say it. Lived experience has caused has caused me to be curious and jump into learning all kinds of things. I've been in Toastmasters for 30 years. I'm distinguished Toastmaster. But Toastmasters will teach you how to stand up and be confident, how to organize your thoughts. And anybody can, they're all over the world. That's the simple way to get started. And then when you take wings from that, you will know the basics. So Toastmasters gives you the foundation. And from there, you take wing and fly, which is basically what you're seeing me do. Toastmasters within a Toastmaster structure would generally not get really comfortable with doing what you and I are doing, with me speaking about very big topics without a script. That's where your mastery starts to come in. And the confidence you can see is because when you know what you're talking about, when you know and you care what you're talking about, really care, then you don't have to worry about what it's going to be. My personal empowerment came once I really understood. I was always looking at other people's expectations. Well, what should I teach? Am I going to be too harsh on them? Am I going to say it the wrong way? Am I going to hurt their feelings? I don't worry about that anymore. I did have to, for a long time, I would give somebody a feedback and an evaluation after they had completed their speech. And I would say what I had, and they said, "Oh, you didn't need the 2x4. You didn't need to whack us with a bat." So then I learned, oh, I'm pretty brutal. So then I learned to say, "Do you really want my opinion?" You'd say, "Sandra, could you give me a little feedback?" "Well, I'm pretty brutal. I don't know that you want to." "Yes, I really do. But do you want the straight goods?" "Well, be gentle." So I've learned to ask people. Now, if they want me to be gentle, they just won't get all of the straight goods. They won't get that whack with the bat. And others who say, "Look, Sandra, stop saying the word brutal." Now, that's just one word that I had sensed from people saying, "You're just too hard for me." And that was hard for me to take in. But you asked my opinion, and I gave my opinion. See, people either like me or they don't like me, and that was hard to get used to. And I had to look and see, why is that? Well, it was me. When you asked an opinion, I gave the opinion. I thought that's what you were asking for. But people don't really want your opinion a lot of times. They just want to hear themselves talk. So now you start to sort out, are you somebody that just wants to hear yourself talk and you think that it's going to be nice if you ask for my opinion? You see, all this stuff balances around in there. So don't ask if you don't want the answer. And the other thing is, basically know your answer before you ask the question, so you know what it's going. It's like asking forgiveness. You know where you're going to go there. But I think I'm getting off track on you here, but the whole thing is that words are huge. Once somebody said, "Sandra, stop with the brutal. I have never seen you be brutal. What I like about you is your straight talk. I ask you, you give me the straight goods, but you have never been brutal. You've always been compassionate and caring." Ah, that's words. That's just words. But what do they mean? That was a huge release for me. When repeatedly people said, "Stop, Sandra, you're not brutal. I don't want to hear that word anymore out of your mouth." Oh, that's when I went from Queen of Straight Talk to the compassionate Queen of Straight Talk. That's a word. Now, if we're watching every word that comes out of our mouth and how it's coming, what are we talking and telling ourselves? Oh, I can't have that homework ready for him tomorrow. Why not? Because I want to go home and have some ice cream. Oh, is the ice cream going to get you your marks for your paper? Well, no, but it's going to be feeling good. Like, what are you telling yourself? Go and do your homework and come back home and reward yourself with the ice cream. It's a choice, it's a decision, it's a commitment. That's what makes the difference. Listening to the chatter or reframing the chatter. I have a little pin that I put on my shirt, my jacket that I wore for years. And it said, "Don't should on me," because I went for decades when I was still trying to please everybody. And I would say, well, I should have done that. You should do this. You could give advice. You should do this. And I should do that. And, if you shoulda, you coulda, you woulda, all that stuff just tears us down. And those are just words. But when I'm saying them, who's hearing those? You're hearing them. You're doing with whatever you're going to do, and then often, but whose ears kept it? My own. So the words that you use on yourself, speak them out. I'm such a failure. Is that true? What were you a failure about? Oh, well, I just missed the words in the song I was singing. Oh, does that make you bad for all the time? Like, well, no. Well, what were your successes? So what does this mean? I screwed up the words on that song. Oh, it means I screwed up the words on the song. That's all. Any pain I'm going to have over that is my emotion that I'm going to pull in because I've told myself nonsense. Instead of just saying, oh, look at that. I missed the words on the song. Did anybody care? No, not really. I just corrected it and carried on singing. So let me know if that answers anything. Power of words is huge.
True.
One word could make you feel like the king. When you're down, if you're homeless on the street and somebody comes to you and says, but look in their eye, because we could be there as easily as they could. A couple of little choices. Ask the guys in prison. Quite often they're in prison for a 10-second action. 10 seconds. 10 seconds to be years in prison because they made a choice in a reaction.
True, Prof. Very true. Thank you very much for wonderful answer again, Prof. You have given and you have combined multiple stories and multiple phrases in order to explain it very well, and wonderful answer. This is what I was expecting, that you will be integrating so many things and you will be giving answer. And I love the way you just talk about the Toastmaster, that how it made you in a way you are, and it give you the confidence, and it give you the wings, and then you combine the other activities in order to grow further, and that confidence was backed by the Toastmaster. But again, really, the inner talk, and particularly which words we select, what how intense they are, and you have given your own example and of that brutal. Really, we should be talking to ourselves in a soft way, and secondly, whatever we are using the word, that should be well thought in order to have a significant impact on the people's life, which you have mentioned. Within a 10-second, we can lose so many things because of the words. And it's the word which creates the magic. And I would say that words are the expression of our thoughts and feelings. So we should be very careful regarding the words. Sometimes the people, they don't take it seriously, but we can hurt somebody's feelings, and we can create a lot of trouble for ourselves as well with the not selecting the right choice of words. Really, Prof, wonderful answer. And now there is one another question which is oftenly people, they ask regarding that thing, that the good leader should be a visionary. And now the question they want to ask, that Prof, can you guide us regarding how to create a vision and how to set the goals? And they want to ask that, Prof, how do you set goals for your life? And then how do you set the vision for your life as well? Yes, please.
I've been doing a lot of thinking about that for myself, because I've been 40 years in the financial world, and now I've, the last couple of years, been launching into coaching and helping people get that confidence and clarity for themselves and grow, get themselves out of prison, so to speak. And my vision is, I see myself out there speaking to thousands of people, shifting their mindset. That's my vision. How is it going to happen? I don't know. Some of it's happening here. I suppose I've already affected thousands of people with my interviews and my videos and talking around the world as it is. I haven't been in front of an audience of 1,000, which I would be thrilled to do. Literally 1,000 people in an audience, I'd be in heaven. So that's my vision. What do I want to take to them? I want them to see that they can find the confidence in themselves. They can get rid of all the garbage that they've created and held onto in themselves. How do we do that? Is we start to look at each of those little areas. And if we look at an area, if we change one area of our life, we change all areas of our life. As I gained my confidence in speaking, and I was a school teacher at one time as well. I started out of school. I was a school teacher for 4 years. So I've always been on stage. I was on stage singing when I was 5. So I've always been there. That I love being with people. I love the applause, and I love being on stage. That's what I love. So my vision is to be on stages. What's my mission out of that? So your vision is going to be, what do you see yourself doing? And you would do it for free because you just can't not do it. Meet Sandra. I've been doing this for free for years. 30 years of Toastmasters, 40 years financial. I've been helping people get their vision cleared up so they would have their mission. What was their goal that they want? Well, within the financial world, their goal is they want to have money to get their house, educate their children. Better look at retirement. Well, I'd like to travel in between. So that's their goals. Those are goals. But the vision for them often is, I want to do all this. I want to have all of this life and still not have to worry when I retire. Like, how do I do? So that's their vision. I help their vision come to life. But they have to understand their vision. And then out of that vision, they get on the mission of making it happen. How do you make that happen? Well, we have to put money aside to get a down payment. So now we need to know the details. These become the goals. So the vision is just, who are you in life? Where are you going? The mission is to get there. So then we have to focus on that mission. And the goals are all those little steps to getting there. I think that's probably the best way to explain it. So with me, for my coaching, my vision is to change thousands of lives all across the world, because I love to travel. I love people. I love to experiment. I love to, curiosity. I was in Uganda when the COVID was declared. I got stuck there without being able to get a flight out for another 8 days. And it cost me a lot of money to get home. Am I going again? Yeah. Because I love to travel. I love to be with the people. I didn't stay in a hotel. I stayed with the refugee family in their home. That's where I stayed. That's my adventure. That's my joy. And I changed a lot of mindsets. And now I network people and connect them in Africa to help each other. I've gone global. I'm excited. So yeah, I'm doing it even when I don't get paid. That's where my vision is. What's your vision? What just turns you on? Now, yes, now I have the mission to help those people and have abundance for myself. So now I create ways for businesses and corporations to build leadership within their own teams, within their executives, and right on down till people have their own leadership inside. If they're sweeping the floor, what is their vision? What is their mission? Why are they sweeping the floors? What's happening when they're sweeping the floors? Versus the owner, what's your vision? It's the same for every person, built into their own vision. And a lot of that is, what can we see ourselves doing? So our own vision of ourselves. What can you be one day? Be that now. I'm changing people's lives now. Thousands. So I'm doing it. So I'm living my life from there. And figuring out these other little goals to get myself along to the abundance as well.
Wow, Prof. Wonderful. Thank you very much for such a wonderful answer. And you have given your own experiences and you shared your own experiences. And this is what we were talking about before the session, that your mission is to transform the life of the people and change their mindset towards the betterment. And I think you are doing a wonderful and fantastic job. And you have been successful in that thing. And you have a very wonderful impact on the people's life. People follow you. They consider you as a role model in their life. That's wonderful. And Prof, I think this is the way you can create the vision, and you can create and set the goals to achieve that thing. And very nicely you have talked about that you have to set for yourself a vision in order to get over there, and then you have to set the little goals in order to achieve it.
Yeah.
Very nicely you have talked about it. And Prof, one a very close question to it, since you have talked about the leadership and we have to empower other people through the leadership as well. Then, Prof, how can we foster the culture of leadership, that we give the leadership, or we develop the new upcoming leaders? What kind of culture do we require for that purpose, and how can we promote that culture in which we uh, uh, pave the way for the upcoming leaders? What do you recommend in terms of what kind of culture, as an organizational culture, as at societal level, what things we should be caring about? Yes, please.
I would say that the most successful business owners, let's go right to the top. The business owner, who is that business owner? Male or female, doesn't matter. Who are they when they speak to the fellow or the gal who's doing the housekeeping and cleaning the floors? Who are they? That is going to be indicating who they really are. That is the character. Don't ever think that you're so big, because what would that business owner do with his big company if the housekeeping and the floor sweepers and the people that run those dreadful repetitive jobs day after day after day, hour after hour after hour, same old thing over and over and over, that owner wasn't going to do it, might have done it at one time, understands what it is. They're not doing it anymore. What about those people? Is he above that now? Then he's not a leader. He's not a human of character. Never, ever, ever forget to look in the eyes of the housekeeper, of the floor sweeper, of your other executives, and say, I see you. I thank you. I appreciate you. What would you need to make your job easier? What are your thoughts about how we could make the company better? I do believe it was Ford. I forget, one of the big manufacturers, anyhow, did come to the floor sweeper. The guy was sweeping up all the filings, from the middle, all the filings at the end of the day, and you'd have to sweep them up and put them in a box. And he says, what are you doing? What do you think of this? He said, man, I would just like to have all these filings. Just give me all these filings, because I could sell those. That's a lot of filings that are left laying on the floor. So I think you should be selling them. They did. They packaged them up and found the way to use the filings on the floor and promoted that man from floor sweeping into the corner office. Why? Because he was doing his job, thinking about what could you do with it? Curiosity, energy. Was he just sweeping floors? No, he was thinking all the time. So be a good human being. And if you're fortunate enough to find the key to unlock your way to all of that you have, know that you're no better than somebody else that just didn't find the key yet. Help them find the key to themselves. Help them find the way to be promoted. Find out what they want to do and help them do that, even if it's not in the company. There's where you're going to find your real people. Anybody that's running for just profit is going to be only chasing money instead of chasing money for what more good they can do, how much bigger they can be in the world. Care.
True. Very true, Prof. Thank you very much. And I really appreciate the way you have talked about that. Don't chase only money. See the greater impact, see the greater, larger part of the picture, that how we are going to contribute. That is more important. And very nicely, you have told us and shared the story of housekeeping and the person who can clean the floor. How can we involve them? How can we have their opinion to work in a better way? Because they are the people who are executing the different things, and their opinion matters. And once we involve them and give them the confidence that how can we improve our services, that is going to impact us, and they will consider it as the kind of empowerment, which we in a business world we say that how to empower the employees in their perspective. So I think these are the lessons for the our audience, that how can we empower the people who are working with us for a betterment. Even the people who are working in our house, we can empower them, we can ask their opinion regarding the different things, and that would actually make things much better and safe for us as well. So collectively we can do wonders, and we can do much better as well. So what you talked about is the care. One word, but it gives the thousands of meanings, which is great, and we have to use it in a wonderful way. And Prof, since we have the time constraint, one last question regarding the since you have talked about the leadership, how can we develop, and so many examples you have given. One last thing which is very important, that is related to the trust. So how can we build as a leader trust and credibility, so that people can they want to learn from us, they we can inspire them, we can attract them towards ourselves, because the leader has to build first the trust and the credibility. So please share some tips of how can they build trust and credibility. Yes, please.
Be trustworthy and be credible. Back to care. People tell me over and over, so it's not that I'm thinking it. People tell me over and over, Sandra, you're just the real deal. You're the straight deal. What you say is done with compassion. You're right. It makes a difference in our lives. So they trust me to be giving them the straight talk, my opinion. They get to know me. And then they either like me or they don't like me, but they know that I will be there doing what I said I would be doing when I said I would be doing it. And I would be giving it my all, because I just love doing what I do. And people see that. If you, as the prof at the university, are walking through the halls and somebody there that you can see is struggling, what's the matter with you? Putting your arm over their shoulder and saying, how's it going? What's happening here? What's happening? Oh, nothing much. Nothing much. Well, it just sounds like, it looks like you're a little bit down, or what are you thinking about? Well, this and this and this happened. We don't know what's happened in people's lives. They might have just had a very disastrous call from home. Somebody passed away or sick, and we don't know. Somebody might have just bullied them. Somebody might have done whatever. So how much does it cost you to put your arm around their shoulder and say, let's just have a talk for a second. Let's see what that's about. It's not to get in there and say, oh, how terrible. Oh, isn't that awful? I'm going to cry with you. It's there to give them a chance to get it out, to look at it and know that they'll be okay. And if you want to talk some more, I'm here. What did that cost you as a prof? What does that cost the business owner to care about the people? I was at the hospital. My dear friend was in intensive care, and we didn't know whether he was going to live or die. He'd been in my car a week early. A week earlier. We still didn't know if he was going to. I thought, you're going to die right here on me. Oh, my goodness. It was an awful experience. But I got him to the hospital. And for about 2 weeks, we didn't know whether he was going to live or die. But as I was leaving, checking with him, because I was on the visit list, another lady was going down that long hallway to exit. And she was down. And I have no idea who she is. Never saw her again, never will again. I won't know if I do. Doesn't matter. I turned and I said, would you like a hug? And she said, yes, please. So I stopped in the hallway with a stranger and gave her a hug. And I could feel she was still tense. And she said, that's okay now. And I says, no, it's not. Hold on to me tight. Let me feel the hug. Feel my hug. It's okay. Feel. And we held that, hugging harder and harder until I felt the tension break. There you go. There you go. That's what a massage therapist does. You go and they get on that knot. And once they find that knot, they hold it until it releases. They hold it on that. Oh, man, that hurts. Okay, just hold. Breathe, 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 and it releases. A word, an action can make a person release, or it can send them to the rope and suicides. Stop it. Don't be bigger than you are. Be blessed that you made it where you got to, and love other people. We don't know where they're at. We don't know what's happened. I don't know all the things that the prisoners, the inmates went through to get their invitation. But I do know that they can find their way out if I can help them find their keys.
Wonderful, Prof. Thank you very much for sharing wonderful stories with us. And I love the way you give example of the university. If you are in university and you see someone who is down, and you can just have a wonderful words with them and you can release their tension. That's the great thing. And your story of this hospital, that how you came along this stranger and how did you give the hug and how it was a good and great experience with her, and how did you help her, and even knowing that you may not come across in your life again with that stranger, but you do it for the humanity cause. And I love the way you just mentioned the word be human and care. We should care about each other, and this is how we can contribute back to the society for caring each other. And I really enjoy one thing which you have used multiple in parts of this webinar, that is you love what you do and you find it a fun. Why? Because helping people is a fun for you, and I enjoy it because this is the human nature, helping each other. And this is why we are human. We are here to help each other, and we are here to guide each other and to bring to the next level of life, even though we may not see them again in our life, but we will be proud of them. We will be happy for them if they
Yeah.
become successful in life. So this is why you are enjoying, this is why you are traveling around the world, because it gives you the energy. And I love the way you just talked that you even stayed at the refugees place, not at the hotel, etc. Why? Because you want to enjoy each and every moment of that
Yeah.
time. I think that's the wonderful spirit you have, and that's why people follow you, and that's why you are on such a wonderful position, because God is very happy with you regarding that perspective, and you are a special kind of that one. Because we need certain people who should be there to guide us in a right way. We need guidance, and we always look upon the people. And very nicely, you have talked about the that we should seek help as well whenever it is needed. We
Mm.
should not be ashamed of it. We are human, and if we don't know anything, we should be seeking out, and we should be asking people to help us, because this is where we do, and this is how we have gained the development and prosperity in our lives. Really, Prof, I'm enjoying the way you are giving answer, but since the time limitation, I
Wow.
wish we could have a wonderful time with you, and I really would love to have other sessions with you, because it's not only a session regarding the leadership, but it was a session regarding the life as well. That how good you would be, and how you can contribute in a way that you are a good human, and then you can become a good leader, and then you can lead the society or the organization as well.
Right.
So thank you very much, Prof, for such a wonderful insights and valuable information sharing with us. Prof, at the end, we ask our each guest regarding their message to the world and your concluding remarks. So, what is your message to the world as a teacher, trainer, learner, professional, and educator, and your concluding remarks as well, please?
I do believe that we all are in prison, and our guard is ourselves. The keeper of the keys is the guard, who is ourselves. Quite often, we forget and leave the door open, and we don't even realize the door is open, and we stay in our box. And there's so much world outside that box. So I think I'm going to close with I was in prison and you visited me. I was in my own prison and I visited me. Some call it imagination, others call it God. That ocean of consciousness that we can go shop from and find our keys to unlock our doors and visit ourselves.
Wow, what a wonderful message you have given to the world, Prof. It is just like you have squeezed the ocean into a drop. And I really love the way you talk about the consciousness and how can we unlock and how can we find ourselves. Mostly, which were the different books we read is regarding the conscious, the spirit, or the great energy, the super conscious. They
Mm.
always see that you should find your inner purpose, and you should have a wonderful inner self, and you must explore it, the purpose of life, and so many things like that. I think this is the wonderful topic to discuss as well. But for another session, we may consider this kind of topic, because it's really very vast topic, and requires a lot of time as well. But you are a wonderful expert, and I love the way you give answer, and I love the way you just shared your wonderful experiences and stories with us. I think these were very helpful and very insightful for the our audience, whoever are listening and who will be listening in future, that how can they extract the lessons out of it, and they can make their lives better, and to avoid those mistakes and to learn from it. So thank you very much, Prof. And to the audience, that please follow our distinguished guest speaker through her website and Facebook account. You can email her or message her for future learning and guidance. She is very generous and always ready to help the people. That's all we have time for today. Thank you once again to Prof. Sandra for a wonderful session with us. And I would like to thank our audience who joined us. If you have any additional questions about information shared today, please email us or connect to the speaker directly through her website and social media account. Thank you all for your support and liking our session. Stay tuned as many sessions are on the way. Please do not miss any session. Till next session, take care of yourself. Bye bye.